You are not running out of time. You are spending it. Right now. On this. On whatever came before this. On whatever comes after. The spending does not stop. It never stops. Not for rest. Not for good intentions. Not for the seasons when you are getting ready to begin. The time moves through you whether you are building with it or not. And the question is never whether the time is being spent. It is always whether the spending is building anything. Most people answer that question at the end. When the accounting arrives and the supply is nearly gone, and the things they were going to build are still in the planning stage they have been in for years. The plans that were always almost ready. The project that needed one more thing before it could begin. The life that was always going to start properly once the circumstances finally cooperated. The circumstances were never going to cooperate. That is not how circumstances work. They are not arranged for your convenience. They arrive as they arrive. And the people who built things built them inside the circumstances that arrived, rather than waiting for the circumstances they needed. 6 truths. Each one points at a different way you have been spending the time without building anything with it. Each one is designed to change that. Not eventually. Now. Because now is the only moment that has ever been available for the building. If you are done spending the time on waiting and ready to spend it on building, comment below. I am building now. 1. Stop waiting. The life you want is being spent while you prepare for it. The preparation never ends because readiness never arrives. That is the trap. You believe that somewhere ahead of you is a version of yourself who is ready, who has enough clarity about the destination, who has resolved enough of the doubt, who has acquired enough of the skill, who has managed enough of the fear to make the starting feel obvious rather than terrifying. And you are preparing to become that version, carefully, thoroughly, for a very long time. That version does not exist. It has never existed for anyone who built anything real. The people who built things were not ready when they started. They became ready through the starting. The starting produced the clarity. The doing produced the skill. The moving through the fear produced the confidence. None of it was available before the beginning. All of it was produced by the beginning. Every day spent in the preparation is a day not spent in the building, and the days are not accumulating in a reserve to be used later. They are passing. They became yesterday the moment you finished them, and yesterday is not available for anything. Only today is available. Only this specific moment is available. And in this specific moment, the choice between preparation and building is exactly the same choice it was yesterday and will be tomorrow. The Stoics understood this with a precision that makes reading them uncomfortable if you are honest about where your own time is going. They did not say, prepare carefully and begin when ready. They said, begin now, with what you have, where you are. The beginning is what produces the readiness, not the other way. Marcus Aurelius wrote, think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what is left and live it properly, now. That word is doing everything in that sentence. Not after the preparation, not when the conditions align. Now, take what is left. The left is an acknowledgement that some of the supply has already gone, that what remains is less than what was there at the start, and that what remains is still enough to build something real, if it goes toward building rather than toward more preparation. What would you do today if you knew the supply of remaining days was exactly what you have right now and not a single one more? Not as a morbid exercise, as a clarifying one. The answer to that question is the direction your life is supposed to be moving in. And the fact that you are not already moving in it is the thing this video is addressing. Readiness is not a prerequisite for beginning, it is a product of beginning. And the only way to access the product is to make the investment. The investment is starting today, not the whole project, the next step, the one that is available right now with what you currently have in the life you are currently living. Take it. The step after that will become visible once you do. That is how it works, not all at once, one step revealing the next, but only after you take the one that is currently available. The day you stop preparing and start building will feel like any other day. There will be no fanfare, no perfect conditions, no internal signal that today is finally the right day. It will just be an ordinary day on which you made a different choice. And that ordinary day with that different choice inside it is how every significant life has ever begun. Not with a dramatic turning point, with a quiet decision to spend today on building rather than on one more day of getting ready to build. Here is the honest arithmetic most people avoid. Every day spent preparing for the start is a day the start did not happen. That day became yesterday. Yesterday is not available for building. Only today is available, and today is making the same offer yesterday made, and the day before that. Begin now, or spend me on getting ready to begin. The people who built things you admire did not have more days than you. They had the same days and made different choices inside them. The choice was always the same one. Build today or prepare to build someday. Someday is not on the calendar. Today is. Use it. The version of you who is ready is built through the doing, not delivered before it. The clarity you are waiting for is produced by movement, not by stillness. The confidence is earned through attempts not granted in advance. Every quality you believe you need before you can begin is manufactured by the beginning itself. There is no other factory. Begin before you are ready. The readiness arrives while you are moving. The preparation trap feels productive. That is what makes it so effective at consuming years. The planning, the research, the refining of the approach, all of it feels like progress. None of it is progress until it connects to action. Progress is the thing in the world that was not there before you put it there. Preparation without a start date is just a comfortable way to spend the time without building anything. If you are done preparing and ready to start with what you have right now, comment below. I start today. 2. Your comfort zone is not safe. It is making you smaller every single day. Every time you choose the comfortable option over the hard one, you are not standing still. You are moving in the direction of a version of yourself that is less capable, less resilient, and less equipped to handle the next difficult thing than you are right now. Comfort does not maintain your current level. It erodes it, slowly, invisibly, one safe choice at a time, until the things that should be manageable feel overwhelming and the things that once felt ambitious feel impossible. This is not motivation, this is biology. Capacity that is not challenged does not maintain itself. The muscle not used atrophies. The skill not practiced degrades. The nerve not tested weakens. Your tolerance for difficulty, your ability to sit in discomfort without fleeing it, your confidence in your own capacity under pressure, all of it shrinks in direct proportion to how consistently you avoid what challenges it. The comfort zone is not a safe space. It is a shrinking space. Every year inside it, without deliberately pushing against its edges, it gets smaller. The territory of what feels possible contracts around you so gradually that you stop noticing. You just find yourself less willing to try things, less confident about outcomes, more dependent on certainty before you act, more upset when things do not go according to plan. Not because you got older, because you got smaller. The Stoics practiced voluntary hardship specifically because they understood this. They chose cold when warm was available, hunger when food was available, the difficult path when the easy one was right there, not as self-punishment, as deliberate maintenance of the capacity to function when circumstances were not comfortable. Because circumstances are frequently not comfortable. And the person who has been training for discomfort meets it very differently from the person who has been avoiding it. Epictetus wrote, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish. Wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life. The tranquil flow is not produced by the absence of difficulty. It is produced by the capacity to meet difficulty without being undone by it. That capacity is built through the consistent, deliberate practice of choosing the hard thing, not occasionally, consistently, in the ordinary moments, the Tuesday morning alarm, the difficult conversation that is easier to defer, the creative work that requires real effort when the passive consumption is right there waiting. There is something else the comfort zone does that most people do not notice until it is well advanced. It does not just limit what you do, it limits what you can imagine doing. After enough years of consistently choosing easy over hard, the imagination itself contracts. The possibilities that used to feel available start to feel like they belong to a different kind of person. A type of person you have gradually decided you are not. You are that type of person. The comfort zone convinced you otherwise. Reverse it. One hard choice at a time. Not to prove anything to anyone, to maintain the accurate belief that you are capable of more than the comfortable version of your life has been requiring from you. Here is what the contraction of the comfort zone actually costs you over time. It costs you the belief that you are capable of more. And that belief is the foundation of everything. You cannot build a life bigger than the life you believe you are capable of building. Every comfortable choice that goes unchallenged narrows that belief a little further, until the version of yourself you once imagined is so far from the version you currently believe in that the gap itself feels like evidence you were wrong to have imagined it. You were not wrong. The imagination was accurate. The comfort zone was the distortion. Push back against it today. One hard choice, one deliberate discomfort, one small proof that the belief is still available if you are willing to earn it. The cold shower, the workout when you did not feel like it, the early morning instead of the late one, the real work before the easy work. These things seem small individually, but they accumulate as evidence. Evidence about who you are and what you do when nobody is requiring anything of you. That evidence is what you draw on when the big moment arrives. Build the evidence now, in ordinary moments. So the big moment finds someone who has been building evidence for months, rather than someone hoping today is the day they finally feel ready. The comfort zone tells you that you are resting, that you deserve the easy day, that the hard thing can wait until you feel more prepared. The comfort zone is a good liar. It has been lying to you every time it made avoiding the hard thing feel reasonable. The truth is that every avoided hard thing is a withdrawal from the account of who you believe yourself to be, and the account is running. Make deposits today. One hard choice. That is enough. Here is what most people miss about the cost of consistent comfort. The comfort zone does not just limit what you do today. It limits what you believe is available to you tomorrow. Every comfortable choice updates the internal picture of who you are, and the updated picture becomes the filter through which new possibilities get evaluated. After enough comfortable choices, the filter eliminates everything ambitious before it gets a fair hearing. Not because the ambitious thing is impossible, because the person doing the filtering no longer believes themselves to be the kind of person for whom it is possible. That is the deepest cost of the comfort zone, not the missed opportunities, the missed belief in the opportunities. Recover the belief, one hard choice at a time, today. If you are done letting comfort make you smaller and ready to choose hard consistently, comment below, I choose hard. Truth 3. People who build nothing have no business telling you what is possible. Someone in your life has an opinion about what you should be doing with yours. Maybe they say it directly. Maybe they say it through silence, through the specific absence of engagement with what you are building, through the casual comment dressed as realism. That probably will not work. That is not how it is done. That is not realistic. These phrases are not analysis. They are autobiography. They are this person telling you the story of why they did not try the thing they wanted to try, and using you as the audience for the justification. Your attempt makes their inaction visible. That is the source of the discouragement. It is not about your project. It is about what your project reveals about the gap between what they wanted and what they chose. You are the mirror. The mirror makes them uncomfortable. The uncomfortable mirror gets told it is showing the wrong reflection. The brutal question to ask about every opinion you receive about your own life is this: is this person building something? Anything? Are they actively engaged in the construction of a life that reflects their genuine values and capabilities? Are they in the arena? Because the opinion of someone in the arena, even if critical, contains information. It comes from experience. It has earned its weight. The opinion of someone watching from the stands is not information. It is noise. Emotionally convincing noise, especially when it comes from people you love. But noise. And organizing your life around noise is how genuinely capable people end up living genuinely small lives. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect." Your self-respect is the account that gets debited every time you defer to someone else's opinion about what your life should look like. Every time you shrink the project because someone questioned it. Every time you slow down because someone was not enthusiastic. Every time you let the opinion of someone who is not building anything determine the pace and direction of what you are building. The account matters. The person who has been making constant withdrawals from it in the service of other people's comfort arrives at the most important decisions of their life with an account that is nearly empty. And decisions made from nearly empty self-respect look like the decisions of someone who does not believe they deserve what they are trying to build. Apply one filter to every opinion that arrives about your work. Has this person attempted something difficult and failed? Have they built something imperfect and improved it? Have they been in the real discomfort of genuinely trying something that mattered to them? If yes, their feedback contains something worth hearing even when it is critical. If no, it contains nothing useful, regardless of how confidently it is delivered. Build regardless, for the life available to you on the other side of building it, not for the satisfaction of proving anyone wrong, for yourself. Something else worth naming about the noise from people who are not building anything. Over time, if you keep giving it weight, it stops being noise from outside and starts being a voice from inside. The opinions you absorb repeatedly become the beliefs you hold privately. The people who told you it would not work get folded into the part of you that tells yourself it will not work. And the internal voice is much harder to ignore than the external one. Stop absorbing it now, before it fully integrates. Filter what comes in by its source. Voice from someone in the arena gets considered. Voice from someone in the stands gets released. That is the filter. Simple. Not always easy, but simple. Here is how you know you have been giving too much weight to the stands. When you find yourself explaining your project to people who did not ask. When you feel a need to justify your direction to people who are not involved in it. When their reaction to what you are building determines your energy for building it. These are signs that the opinion of the stands has been given a seat at your table. Remove it. The stands are for watching. Your table is for builders only. Build your circle accordingly. Find even one person who is building something real and spend more time in conversation with them than with 10 people who are not. The quality of the thinking around you determines the quality of the thinking you bring to your own work. Choose the thinking that builds something. And when the discouragers arrive, as they will, meet them with one question asked internally. What are they building? The answer will almost always be the answer you need to properly calibrate the weight of their opinion. Give it accordingly, then return to the work. The most expensive thing you can do with discouragement is repeat it to yourself. When someone questions your project and you walk away, and the questioning voice stays in your head running on repeat, you have done their work for them for free. You have turned external noise into internal noise, and internal noise is the loudest and the hardest to stop. Catch it early, name it as borrowed opinion, not personal truth. Return to the work. The work is the answer to every question about whether this is worth doing. If you are done letting other people's doubts determine the size of your life, comment below, "I build for myself." Truth 4. You have enough to start. You are just afraid to use what you have. The resource you believe is missing is not what is stopping you. More time, more money, more connections, more skill, more certainty. You have identified the gap and you are waiting for it to close before you begin. But the gap is not closing. It is not closing because the gap is not the real problem. The real problem is the discomfort of using the resources you currently have seriously enough that the attempt becomes visible and the failure becomes possible. Not starting means not failing publicly at something that matters to you, and that specific fear, the fear of visible failure at something genuinely important, is dressed up as a resource problem because resource problems feel more legitimate than courage problems. You cannot be blamed for not having enough money. You can be blamed, at least in the story you tell yourself, for not having enough nerve. Every person who has built something real built it from resources that felt insufficient at the time. Not metaphorically. Actually, the first version of every significant business was built with less money than its founder thought was necessary. The first version of every significant skill was developed with less time than its practitioner thought was available. Insufficient resources are not a disqualifying condition. They are the universal starting condition. They are what everyone starts with. The resources improve through the building, not before it. The skill grows through the doing. The connections come through the attempting. The clarity arrives through the starting. None of it is available in advance. All of it is produced by beginning with what is currently available and building from there. Seneca wrote, "Everything is foreign to us. Only time is truly ours. Time is what you have, right now, in whatever quantity remains. And the question is not whether you have enough of it. The question is what the available time is currently being used to build. If the answer is nothing yet, then the resources are sufficient for beginning. They were always sufficient for beginning. The beginning only ever required the time available and the willingness to use it. Test this honestly. If you had exactly twice the resources you currently have, would you start today? If the answer is still no, then the resources were never the real issue. Name the real issue. Address the real issue. Because the real issue has a solution. The resource problem, which is not the real issue, does not. Start with what you have, where you are, today. The resources available in a year of building will be different from the resources available right now. More skill, more clarity, more evidence of what works. All of it produced by the building, none of it available before the building begins. The resource that is truly scarce is not money or time or connections. It is commitment, genuine commitment to the thing you are trying to build. Commitment that does not require ideal conditions to continue. That does not pause when the resources feel thin. That treats the current insufficient situation not as evidence that the attempt is premature, but as the standard beginning condition of every attempt worth making. Commit with what you have. Let the commitment pull the resources toward it. That is the order, not resources enabling commitment. Commitment attracting resources. The people who waited for the resources first are still waiting. Seneca wrote about time as the only true resource. Not money, not connections, time. And time is available right now in whatever quantity remains in your supply. The question is not whether you have enough of it. The question is what the available time is currently being used to build. If the answer is nothing yet, the resources are sufficient for beginning. They were always sufficient for beginning. Stop auditing the resources. Start deploying them. The audit produces a list of what is missing. The deployment produces evidence of what is possible. The evidence is what you actually need, and the evidence only comes from the doing. There is a version of the resource problem that is honest, and a version that is a story. The honest version is when something genuinely critical is missing, and acquiring it is the actual next step. The story version is when the resources are sufficient for beginning, but beginning feels exposed. Test which version is yours. If you had twice the resources, would you start today? If the answer is still no, the resources are not the real issue. Name the real issue. Address it directly. It has a solution. The resource story does not. If you are ready to stop waiting for better resources and start building with what you have right now, comment below, I build with what I have. Truth 5. The thing you are most afraid of is exactly what you need to do next. Fear does not arrive in proportion to danger. It arrives in proportion to importance. The things you are most afraid of failing at are the things that matter most to you. The things that would cost you the most to fail at publicly are the things you care about most privately. The specific, personal, genuine fear of a particular failure is the clearest possible signal that the thing behind the fear is genuinely worth attempting, because you do not fear failing at things that do not matter to you. Look at what you are most afraid to try right now. The project you have not started because it might not be good enough. The conversation you have not had because it might not go the way you need it to. The commitment you have not made because making it closes off alternatives you are not ready to close. Look at what is behind the fear. That thing. The thing the fear is protecting you from attempting. That is the next step. Not despite the fear, because of the fear. The fear is the most reliable compass available. It is pointing at exactly where the growth lives. Exactly where the version of yourself you are trying to build is waiting to be found. And the only way to get there is through the thing the fear is making you avoid. The people who appear fearless are not. They are comfortable with fear as a travel companion. They have followed the fear to enough real places that its arrival no longer signals danger to them. It signals direction. They learned to read it accurately. You can learn the same thing, not by eliminating the fear, by moving through it enough times that the movement becomes familiar. Epictetus wrote, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." The fear is pointing at what you do not yet know about yourself, at the specific capability that has not been tested because the testing requires the attempt you have been avoiding. The person on the other side of the thing the fear is pointing at knows something about themselves that the person still avoiding it does not. The knowing requires the doing, and the doing requires moving toward the fear rather than away from it. Here is what happens on the other side of doing the thing the fear was pointing at. The fear does not disappear, it changes character. The fear of starting becomes the fear of doing it badly. The fear of doing it badly becomes the fear of the next level. The fear travels with you. What changes is your relationship with it. It stops being a wall and becomes a companion, something that signals direction rather than danger. The first attempt does not have to succeed, it has to happen. Starting badly is the first step towards starting well. Waiting until you can start well is waiting forever. Move toward the fear. What it is pointing at is real, and it is worth the discomfort of the moving. There is a specific pattern that repeats in every person who eventually did the thing they were afraid of. They did not stop being afraid first. They moved while afraid. The fear was present at the starting. The fear was present through the doing. The fear reduced only after enough evidence accumulated that the thing was survivable. and the evidence only accumulated through doing. The sequence never runs the other way. Fear first, then evidence, then reduction. Never comfort first, then attempt. Stop waiting for the fear to go before you begin. The fear goes after you begin. That is the only order available. The specific thing worth knowing about the fear that is pointing at your next step is this: it is proportional to how much it matters. A small fear means the thing matters a little. A large fear means the thing matters enormously. The size of the fear is useful information about the size of the importance. Most people read large fear as a warning to retreat. It is the opposite signal. Large fear means large importance. Large importance means this is exactly where the energy should go. Go there, not because it will be comfortable, because it will be real. And real is what you are here to build. Not comfortable, real. Every person who eventually did the thing they were afraid of followed the same sequence. They did not stop being afraid first. They moved while afraid. The fear reduced only after enough evidence accumulated that the thing was survivable. The evidence only accumulated through doing. The sequence never runs the other way. The fear does not go, and then you begin. You begin, and then the fear changes. That is the only order available to anyone. Take it. Most people treat fear as the signal to stop. The Stoics treated it as the signal to look more carefully at what is there, at what matters, at what the fear is actually protecting you from, and whether that thing is worth the protection. 9 times out of 10 the answer is no. The thing being protected is not safety, it is comfort, and comfort has already cost you enough. The next time fear arrives about something in your own life, pause before you use it as a reason to stop. Ask what it is pointing at. Ask whether that thing matters. If it matters, then the fear is not a reason to stop. It is the best available reason to go. Truth. 6. The life in your head will stay there until you build it with your hands. You have been carrying a version of your life inside you for a while, not the current version, the real one. The one where the work reflects what you actually care about, where the days feel like they belong to you, where you are using what you are actually capable of rather than carefully keeping it undemonstrated, where the gap between who you are and who you intended to become has finally closed. That version, the one that keeps appearing in your quietest moments and disappearing when the ordinary demands of the day reassert themselves. That version is not a fantasy. It is a direction. It is the most accurate information available about what your life is supposed to be moving toward. And the gap between the version in your head and the version you are currently living is not evidence that the real version is impossible. It is evidence that the building has not yet begun in earnest. Here is the thing about the version in your head that most people do not want to hear. It has been there for a while, maybe years, and every year it stays only in your head and not in the actual world. It loses a little of its power over you. The imagination becomes the substitute for the thing itself. The planning becomes the project. The thinking about the doing becomes what happens instead of the doing, and the gap between the imagined life and the actual one stays exactly where it was, because thinking does not close the gap. Building closes the gap. Most people never build the first version because they are protecting the perfection of the version that only exists in their head. That version is safe. It has never been exposed to reality, so it has never been found insufficient. It exists in a protected state, where it is always as good as imagination can make it. The actual built version will be found insufficient in specific ways. Build it anyway. The insufficient actual thing is the path to the sufficient actual thing. The perfect imagined thing is the path to nothing. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one. Waste no more time imagining what your life should look like. Build it, not the whole thing, not the final version, the first version. The version that is possible with what you currently have in the life you are currently living. That version will be imperfect. Build it anyway. Imperfect and real is worth more than perfect and imagined, always, without exception. The Stoics were relentlessly practical. They were not interested in the imagined life. They were interested in the actual life being constructed through actual choices in actual moments. The imagined life is available to everyone. The actual built life is available only to the people who made the actual choices. In the ordinary moments, the Tuesday afternoon, the early morning, the specific available moment that is this one right now. The life in your head is built one choice at a time in the actual world. That is the only mechanism available. The choice is available now. Make it. Then make the next one. Build the imperfect real thing. Improve it. That is the entire process. Everything else is delay dressed as preparation. Release the version in your head as the object of protection. Make it the object of construction instead. The construction starts today, with one real choice, toward the real version, in the real world. That is the whole beginning. Here is something about the version in your head worth understanding clearly. It has been waiting for you, not the other way around. The life you want to be living is not running from you. It is sitting there, available, waiting for the choices that build it. The version in your head did not move further away while you were getting ready. It stayed exactly where it was, patient, unchanging, available the moment you decide to build toward it, rather than just carry it. Start building toward it today. One real piece, the email, the page, the conversation, the commitment made out loud rather than only privately. One piece of the version in your head that exists in the real world by the end of today that did not exist in the real world when today started. That is enough. That is the whole assignment for today. Tomorrow the assignment is the same. One more piece. Real. In the world. Not in the planning. Not in the notes. In the actual world where it can be seen and used and improved. The accumulation of one piece per day across a year is 365 pieces of the version in your head that now exist in the real world. Most things worth building require fewer pieces than that. You have more than enough time. You have today. The version of your life that is worth living is one piece away from being more real than it was before. Make the piece. Do it today. The life in your head moves into the real world one choice at a time. Make the choice. Now. The life in your head has been waiting with more patience than you have shown in returning to it. It has not moved. It has not become less possible. It has not been claimed by anyone else. It is sitting there with your name on it and no expiry date, except the one you carry. And the one you carry is moving in one direction only, toward less time, toward fewer remaining days, toward the moment when the window that is open right now closes. That moment is not today. Today the window is open, the life is waiting, the choice is available. Make it. Everything else is detail that gets handled after the beginning. The beginning is the only thing that cannot be handled later. If you are done imagining the life you want and ready to start building it with your actual choices today, comment below, "I build the life now." 6 truths. 1 direction. You are spending the time right now. The spending does not stop while you decide how to build with it. Stop waiting for the moment you are ready, because that moment is produced by starting, not by waiting. Stop using comfort as a hiding place because it is making you smaller, not safer. Stop giving weight to the opinions of people who are not building anything because their opinions are not information. Stop blaming the resources because the resources were never the real obstacle. Stop avoiding the fear because the fear is the compass, and stop protecting the life in your head instead of building it with your hands. Every single one of these truths points at the same moment. This one, the moment when the decision is made to spend what is left on building rather than on preparing to build. The Stoics built from whatever conditions arrived, not the conditions they wanted, the ones that were actually there. Marcus Aurelius built his philosophy during plague and war. Epictetus built his inside slavery. Seneca built his in exile. None of them had the conditions they would have chosen. All of them built anyway. Because the building does not require ideal conditions. It requires the decision to begin inside the conditions that exist. Your conditions exist right now. Your decision is available right now. The life that is capable of being built from everything you already are is worth every uncomfortable step it takes to build it. The only thing standing between you and that life is the next choice, not the perfect choice, the next available one, made now, with what you have, from where you are. Your starting point is right here. Your formula is the same one everyone who ever built anything used. Begin before you are ready. Improve as you go. Stop when the life is built. If this video moved something in you that needed moving, share it with someone who is ready to stop spending the time on waiting. And remember, you are not running out of time. You are spending it. Spend it on something real. The 6 truths in this video stripped away the 6 most common reasons people spend their time on everything except the life they are capable of building. The permission that nobody is coming to give. The comfort zone that is shrinking, not protecting. The opinions of people who are not building anything. The resource gap that was never the real obstacle. The fear that is a compass, not a warning. And the version in your head that will stay there until you move it into the real world piece by piece. All 6 truths point at the same moment. This one, the one where you decide that the spending of the remaining time is going to produce something rather than just pass. That decision is available right now, not after the video, not after you think about it. Now. The Stoics who shaped this philosophy did not have better conditions than you. Marcus Aurelius governed an empire during plague. Epictetus was enslaved. Seneca was exiled twice and lived with the constant knowledge that his death could be ordered at any moment by the emperor he served. None of them had the conditions they would have chosen. All of them built anyway. Because the building does not require ideal conditions, it requires the decision to begin inside the conditions that exist. Your conditions exist. Your decision is available. Make it. The life worth living is built one real choice at a time. The next real choice is this one, right now. Every significant human achievement started in conditions that were not ideal, not one exception. The conditions were always insufficient in some way. The person was always less ready than they wanted to be. The resources were always less than they would have chosen. The fear was always present. The doubters were always there. And the building happened anyway. In the gap between the conditions that existed and the conditions that were wanted. In that gap, every real thing ever built by a human being was built. You are in that gap right now. The conditions are not ideal. You are not fully ready. The resources are not sufficient. The fear is present. All of it is exactly the normal starting condition. And the gap is where your building begins. Today, now, with one choice made in the direction of the life worth living. Make it. The rest follows from this one. Everything else has always followed from this one.